Hi, Miss Wynn. So today I'd like to talk to you about reading promotions. So at the high school level, do the majority of your students come in for academic or non-academic reasons? And by non-academic, I mean just reading for pleasure, having just kind of a quiet space.
I think that most of them are definitely coming in for just their own leisure reading or activities, or makerspace activities, or other things more than academic.
What would be the reasoning for less academic and more just kind of reading for pleasure?
I would think that with classes coming in, students don't typically come to the library to seek out information in high school. I feel like maybe I'll have two or three very special kids that want to go a little step further and seek out additional research on top of what they're doing with their class. But for the most part, I would say most high school students are going to do what their teachers assign and not really go above and beyond for academic, betterment. And so most of the kids I have coming in are looking to find something fun to read or do a fun activity.
Yeah. Would you say that probably is the hardest part about getting high schoolers to come in for academic reasons, is not all of them want to just go above and beyond?
I think so. I think they're so used to, will this affect my, is this going to be graded? They're concerned with grades, and they're not necessarily concerned with the love of learning. And so if they've done the minimum, which is what the teacher requires, then they feel like, okay, that's it. And, a lot of teachers do require them to have research, but they typically bring them in with their class. So they don't come back later to seek additional.
Mhm. So in regard to just love for reading, what kind of reading initiatives do you have at Kempner High School?
So we try to create a culture of reading. I have signs printed and laminated for all the teachers so that they can put their name and what they're currently reading, so that it gives kids, like when they walk in the door, they can see. We do book giveaways. I usually use, when I could go to the librarians conference, I would get a lot of ARCs and galleys to give out for free. We do blind date with a book at Valentine's Day, and we do holiday with a book, and it's kind of similar. Basically, they write down like what genres they like, and I try to match them up. And then holiday with the book, they just come in and line up, and they get a ticket, and if they've read, they get to come in and get a free book. So,
That's awesome. What's the response like? How many participants on average would you say you have?
oh, it's as many books as I have. So, I mean, if I have 40, then I'd say at least 60 kids come by, and I just give them out to the first 40. So they're really excited about it.
That's awesome. Would you do anything different or extra to add to the responses? So if there's more kids or less kids um, for a specific reading initiative, how would you go about changing the participation and responses to it?
So I guess if I didn't have enough students participating, I would just try to reach out more. I find flyers and announcements are a lot of times overlooked, but if I actually go into classrooms and see them face to face, or when they come in, if I things that way. And then I guess if we have too many participants, that's awesome. So I'll just continue doing what I'm doing and try to have more free books or other gifts, other fun things.
So do you guys hold any book talks or author visits there?
We do. We do a book. I do book talks all throughout the year. And I do have several English teachers, although it's not required. I have several English teachers who come in and bi-weekly, and they bring their kids, they check out. So I do have some English teachers who still want to continue that, and it's great. And I do book talks. I usually try to talk about somewhere between 5 to 10 books, and then they have the rest of the period opportunity to choose something that they like.
Awesome. What about any clubs in the library that would help with reading promotion?
We have actually two reading clubs, or two clubs that would promote reading. We have Poetry Club. I sponsor Poetry Club, and also Creative Writing Club. And then I also sponsored the Crocheting, Knitting, and Sewing Club. So
Very busy. So on average, how many kids would you say are in each one of those clubs?
Poetry club is about 10 to 15. Same with crocheting club is about 10 or a little less. And then the creative writing club is actually brand new, and we were supposed to have our first meeting in person the day the pandemic started. So the girls who had the idea of starting the club, they did it all on Zoom, and they had about 30 participants show up on Zoom. They went out in breakout rooms, they did prompts and shared. It was phenomenal. It was really cool. So I'm hoping when we go back to the real life, we still have as many, 30 plus kids.
That is my wonder because in a virtual setting, I feel like kids feel a little more comfortable sometimes not being in front of others. So that would be very
I
interesting
agree.
to see.
Yeah.
So going forward, what other ideas do you have to help bring students into the library for reading promotion and just the love of reading?
I think definitely, oh, I forgot to talk about author visits, but we do have some, we have, sorry, backtracking. For extra promotions, I would say just maybe more, we also have a book club. How did I forget book club? We also do book shares. So I would try to basically continue those. Book share is similar to book club, but instead of everybody reading the same book, we just gather around and talk about what we've read that we love. It could be anything from like or it can be anything, and it's just kind of shares the joy of reading, and it also gives teens a chance to advise other teens rather than just me saying, oh hey, read this book, it's great. So I
That-
would try to do that in person.
So coming from a middle school setting, I love to decorate, not so much as the elementary where I feel like I need to change a bulletin board every once in a while. But I've seen so many different cute reading promotion displays, Black History Month or Women's Appreciation Month. Do you guys do anything specific? You mentioned Valentine's Day, the blind read the blind book in December. Is there anything extra that y'all do?
We do displays. I do a special display every month and probably sometimes twice a month, just depending. So right when you walk into the library, I have 3 stands, and then we have a poster printer. So I make posters according to, what's going on. So we do banned books week. We do, Thanksgiving and thankful and those types of themes. So I try to like whatever the theme is of the month, I try to pull books that go with the theme. Sometimes it's as simple as like St. Patrick's Day and here's green books. They don't have anything to do with the actual holiday, but it's still, it kind of catches your eye and sparks kids to pick interest to pick them up. Of course, we do like a holiday and New Year and all the holidays. Black History Month is a big one. I have two. So I have the main display is actually Black History Month, and then we have the Valentine's blind date kind of thing to the side. Our library is really big, so we have space to put different displays in different areas. And then I haven't genrefied the entire fiction section, but I do have 4 genrefied shelves that are forward facing so they can see the fronts of the books. And then I have 2 designated shelves, so we have different genres pulled with like facing the front with decorations to catch the eye.
That's awesome. Well, is there anything you'd like to add before we wrap up?
I don't think so.
All right. Well, thank you for taking the time to meet with me.
Thank you.